The colors are evolving, ladies and gentlemen. Greetings once again, and welcome to another commentary. It's actually been quite a while since I've done a commentary by myself, and yes, I'll say this right now. This commentary is featuring me, and me. But I decided because we have another commentary that's me and the gang alongside our new guests. That's still on the back burner and still gonna take a while for that to happen. I decided, you know what, let's do a small commentary that I can easily do by myself. Ladies and gentlemen, and non-binary folks, this is the commentary of Metroid Zero Mission, the remake of the first game, and one that I have a lot of good memories with Metroid Zero Mission. Okay, so where do I start? Because it has been a shit ton of times since I've done the last commentary on a Metroid game. That was all the way back in Super Metroid. That was the first commentary I ever made. So, and it's been almost 3 years since that commentary. It's very interesting how time flies. But so around the time, I think I'll start with this. My thoughts on my experiences with Zero Mission. Back when I was in my emulator phase, back in 2014, 2015, I think I've mentioned it before, especially if you frequent Backloggd, where I do plenty of reviews. I've detailed my personal experiences with these games. I was trying to, during that emulator phase, I was trying to discover a lot of franchises. There was Mega Man, there was Metroid, there was probably maybe I test drove some Mario games, but a lot of the times it was just test drives. That's what happens, and but when Metroid, I got a little bit sucked in. On Metroid 1 and Metroid 2, I was always kind of hesitant on because of like a map and other stuff. But Super Metroid got me hooked. But unfortunately, I got as far as the beginning of Meridia for that one, because I think I was kind of like, okay, I know Meridia is gonna be a big deal, so let me wait there. And then my PC died through me installing too much stuff on it. So unfortunately, that playthrough went on hold. And I'm not exactly sure when I did my Zero Mission playthrough if it was with that Windows Vista PC or if it was with the Windows XP PC that I got afterwards. But Metroid Zero Mission, I played around that time and I actually got pretty far. I got as far as right before the final boss, as in not even Mother Brain, like Robo Ridley. But I think when I was young, I thought that boss was a bit too hard, and I couldn't beat it. I never beat it, and that playthrough was on ice. And I don't think I ever got that save file back, which, now thinking about it, it might have been my Windows Vista PC, so that was done. I think it would take me years for me to play the game again, and I think it was through emulation, again, on a new computer, and then that's when I finished Metroid Zero Mission for the first time. Then eventually when the game, I never got the Wii U Virtual Console version of the game, because around that time, I think, when I had the chance, I think, I was the GBA NSO app was already out, and I was thinking, oh, okay, I think eventually it will come on there. And just a year later, in 2024, June 2024, they finally brought this game to NSO, and that was awesome. And like the moment it got on there, I just immediately went, whoop, time to play it, and I beat it in like 2 hours and a half. And ever since then, I've been thinking, hey, Zero Mission could make a pretty good commentary, because it's not long. I can do it in one sitting. I don't need to make anything complicated. It's just that, okay, that was 2024. It was only a year after I started doing this shindig. So I was thinking, okay, I'm not going to another Metroid game so soon, especially because I don't know what other Metroid games I would do after this. Maybe Fusion? Maybe. But I'm not the greatest at Fusion. I think that's one of the things about Fusion is that I've only been for emphasizing my recent replay of Fusion is that Fusion is good, but it's also kind of difficult. I'm not. That's why I have a little bit of hesitant. I'm a little bit hesitant in recommending Fusion for first-time players, because Fusion can kick you in the ass if you're not prepared. But the snappier controls does make it more beginner-friendly in case you don't really like the floaty controls of Super Metroid. So there's that. But Zero Mission for me is like the best of both worlds. You got the movement options of Super, like the wall jump, and then you got the snappiness of Fusion. And it's not as difficult. It's actually a pretty easy game. There's even an easy mode if you're really unsure of yourself, although I'll say that normal mode isn't that hard. I will say, though, that in my playthroughs, my recent playthroughs of this game, I've got a little bit reckless, and that's why I get hit a lot. That's just a me issue. I realized that Crate could have been I could have maybe finished it off faster. Mother Brain, I got too reckless and got hit a bunch of times. I was almost dying actually, but I didn't because I'm an epic gamer. But yeah, I said playthroughs because I didn't just replay the game for commentary. Well, I did. But what happened is that this is actually the second recording of it. So what happened is that I was trying to find out what would be the best way to record Zero Missions. I got an ISO, I got a capture card, but I was thinking, okay, but when I was recording it the first time, I noticed there was coming some audio crackles, and I'm like, audio crackles? I know I'm recording through the Switch, but like, this is a GBA game. But even then, there were some audio crackles, and as you guys notice, I ended up sticking with ISO. But before fully sticking with it, I decided, wait a minute, let me try messing. You know, let me try the emulator. And I played through there, and it seemed to work fine at first, but then it absolutely shat the bed when it came to performance. And I was like, oh, I can't record like this. I really can't, because that emulator is a little bit CPU intensive, and that was a little bit of my fear. So I was like, it's unfortunate. I wonder how it would be streaming through that through Discord, but oh well. But then I decided, okay, let's stick to NSO, even if there are some audio crackles. I'll say it right now, if anybody notices audio crackles or some little stutters here and there, I'm sorry. Those stutters also happened when I was recording, so there were a few times in both playthroughs. But you will see this commentary because I picked the second playthrough, and I'll tell you that I messed up a jump because there was a little stutter and it kind of fucked me up. And because this game is much faster and snappier than Super Metroid, yeah, it cost me some jumps. But nothing big, it's just that it was annoying. That was the thing. It was more so annoying rather than anything. But, you know, I apologize for the stutters. But this is the second playthrough. What happened to the first one? As in, what happened is that I accidentally fucked up. The first playthrough, I didn't realize that I had both my desktop audio and the capture audio recording at the same time. And it came out really bad. It's like both audios on top of each other. And it's like, So I decided, okay. The next day, I recorded the second playthrough. Now with the issue fixed, and this is what you're seeing. But you know, because I played this game twice for recently, you know, it's kind of like how many playthroughs? I think counting that first playthrough I never finished, 5. But not counting that one is 4, because there's two recent playthroughs. The first NSO playthrough back in 2024. And then the first time I beat the game was through emulation. Yeah, that's how many times I beat the game. Is almost as close to Super Metroid. You know, but with Super Metroid, I always have this thing where I always won 100% whenever I play the game. With Zero Mission, I never won 100%. Like, I have seen, and I have tried in some of my earlier playthroughs to get some of these out of their audience, but I don't like, but they're so annoying. Like, there's so much you have to go out of your way to do. And in these recent playthroughs, I realized, wow, the power bombs really are fucking useless in this game, because the power bombs are given to you so late and you barely use them. And then right after I recorded this playthrough, I found out that you don't even need the power bombs to beat the game. There's a block that prevents you from accessing the final boss that you require power bombs, but then there's a shortcut on top that doesn't require power bombs, so you could completely skip it. And I'm like, oh, fucking hell. And the power bombs are only really used to go back and get more power bombs and missiles. It's kind of like Fusion. Like, although at least Fusion, you didn't get power bombs this late, you know? I feel like Super Metroid, you got it like around halfway through. Like Fusion, like 3/4, and this is like pretty much at the end of the game. And because of that, it really feels... I mean, they learned a lesson from Fusion. And Future give you, like, 74 power bombs, which was completely useless, because most of the time, what are you going to use those power bombs for? To get more power bombs. It's kind of stupid, you know? Super, I'd say, was the better one, because there were power bomb doors, and then there was... I mean, there are power bomb doors here, but it's just like 1 or 2, and you don't really need to access any of them to beat the game, so... Yeah, that shows a lot. But, yeah, Zero Mission is awesome. But I don't like 100%ing. And I think by the time this goes live, my review of the game should go live as well. I'll put it in the description. But yes, I'll go over this and many more. This commentary is more so just me shooting the shit and trying to get into the groove of doing a solo commentary, because it has been a long time since I've done a solo commentary by myself. Redundant, okay. A commentary by myself. As of late, especially last year, nearly all of my commentaries were with Spring and Klaus, and it's great having them around, but I also realized that our schedules don't really meet up sometimes, and so I decided, okay, let me try and have some solo commentary. Like last year, I had Kaze no Notam, which was one I was planning to make a solo commentary for a while. And now there's like now I'm doing Metroid Zero Mission because I'm like, okay, this is a good one to do a solo commentary. This is like almost 2 hours, so buckle in, boys. It's not as long as my Super Metroid run, but my Super Metroid one was also like 100%. This one is not 100%. I would say, I think my first NSO playthrough, I don't remember my original playthrough, but my first NSO playthrough, I got 67 or 66%. 6-7. And then my second NSL playthrough, the one that the failed recording, was like a 61%, and I think this one is 56%. So I've been getting slowly faster and faster, and with less and less items. And it's funny because when I was playing, doing the circuit recording, I was like, okay, I know I missed some items, but that many to be like, you know, a 5% difference? I was like, oh yeah, I guess so. Not that I really need to. I mean, I got... Basically, there's like 12 energy tanks in total, and you pretty much get 9 along the way if you know, if you like explore as much as you can, or if you do the path I do. So like that's more than enough for the ends, especially Robo Ridley. Like for some reason, I feel like Robo Ridley is easier without, than Mother Brain, because Mother Brain there's all of these projectiles coming at you, and you gotta pay attention and all that stuff. While Robo Ridley, yeah, there's the projectiles, but like, you have so much stuff, and you can just nuke him with like a couple of super missiles, and then there you go, he's toast. Robo really stupidly easy, and then, but then like if you go for 100% in this game, Robo really gets harder, and I'm like, wow, is it really because I took so much time to make all that to get all those items? Like, but another reason I don't go for 100%, but it's mainly because a lot of the items are just like out of the way, and there's some annoying puzzles like puzzles, like you have to, there's like a missile block that's blocking the upgrade, the missile expansion, but you're on top on like falling blocks, and that shit is just annoying. There was some similar stuff in Fusion, and then Zero Mission pretty much brings it back. It's like, nah. I do know that Samus Returns was kind of like the game that broke the mentality for me, because Samus Returns also has something. It also has a plenty of items where you need the baby Metroid at the end to get, and that's a bit annoying. It's like near the end of the game. But for that one, I actually went out of my way to get everything, and it felt nice getting everything, especially for the final boss, because the final boss of Samus Returns was a bit challenging, but a good fight, you know. And that was a nice prelude to a lot of the fights in Dread, because a lot of the fights in Dread are quite challenging, and that's an interesting thing. Metroid was never really a series that I really thought was like challenging. It was Fusion that tried to be a bit more challenging, but it's not like the bosses were particularly challenging. Some were a bit more challenging, like Nightmare, but not all the bosses were particularly challenging. But then Samus Returns and Dread make it a really big deal that these bosses are way bigger in scope and way more challenging. It's like, oh, wow. Like, Prime was already doing bigger bosses. Like, I replayed Prime 1 recently. Yeah, it was already, a lot of its bosses are big in scope, but only like a couple of them are really challenging. I really find Metroid Prime to be the most challenging, like the final boss. But it's also because I go out of my way to get all the items in Metroid Prime because of the choice of artifacts that are already there. But it also emphasizes that but Prime also has a similar problem to Fusion and Zero Mission, where there's some missile expansions and power armor expansions where you need to wait until you get the plasma beam and grapple beam, some of the last items in the goddamn game for you to get it. It's like, ugh. The whole last part of Prime is just kind of like a pace killer. And now that I've replayed it recently, I have that fresh memory. I can definitely say for something, okay, Metroid Prime, kind of funky, but you know, it's still a good game. I still very much enjoy Prime, and I mean, it's still a great game. Like it's one of those, I make a play about a lot of this thing and this thing and this thing and this thing, but like it's always one. But it's one of those games like, I just want more upgrade. Oh, I just want more. I just want to play more. It's like so much stuff that I 100% the game in like 3 days. That was quite something. But you know, if you're here, maybe you've already read my Backloggd reviews. If not, I'll be linking again. Like once again, I'll link the Zero Mission one in the description. And yes, yeah, I'll link the one in the description, and you can see my profile from there. You know, so. And if you enjoyed the reviews, like, leave a like. Thank you. It was like, yeah, I appreciate it. But besides that, What else has been happening? Well, simply put, I've been trying to get a job. No avail so far, but you know, keeping my search. So, not much else I can really say about that. Also, don't really want to say much else because it's a little bit personal. But besides that, I've just been playing some games. I've been trying not to do as many reviews. I mean, I've been doing a decent chunk of reviews as of late, uh, but I also am not trying to do as many reviews as I did last year because last year I did a lot of reviews. And I was like, okay, now I'm just after like I after the Zero Mission review, I'm pausing my current Metroid marathon. So Prime 2 will have to wait. And I'm just continuing the Sakurai marathon that I've been working on and doing Mega Man and then maybe a small game or two on the side, and that's pretty much that. Yeah. Then I don't want to start many marathons. I don't want to do much more. Yeah. Just, you know, just that's my journal plans. But that's I actually been watching a free run, the second season. I watched the first season at the end of 2024 because a friend of mine requested it. And then I watched it, I was like, oh, this is really nice. You know, sometimes it's a little bit on the slow side, but I think that's the point. That's precisely the point of free run. It's a slow pacing anime. But another anime that I watched recently was Dungeon Meshi, and it's interesting. While I feel free run might be a better anime, Dungeon Meshi I feel like it's a more fun anime, and it's one that I really enjoyed watching. That I'm like, when's season 2 coming out? You know, but Studio Trigger, you know, let him to cook. But from my understand, like the anime was already adapted like half the manga because the manga ended some years ago, and then the year after the manga finished, the anime started, and then yeah, and then the anime adapted the first season adapted the first half. So I'm like, oh, if the second season is as long as the first season, then we're almost done. And I'm very curious on seeing the conclusion. So yeah. But besides that, not much has been going on. But just hanging out with friends, sometimes walking, sometimes doing stuff. Metroid is really good. I guess it's an interesting thing. Because I feel like I get the feeling that by talking about Metroid, by doing another Metroid commentary, I'm gonna talk about some topics that I did back in my Super Metroid commentary, but that was also all the way back in April of 2023, and it's been quite a few years. So what has happened since is really that Metroid Prime 4 finally came out. Wow, it's very interesting. Like I remember I revisited some parts of my Super Metroid commentary a while ago. And I was talking about Metroid Prime 4. Oh, they were hiring some people to do like story and stuff like that, and environments and stuff like that. And it kind of, I don't want to say paid off. I'm not sure if that's the right word. Like, more so that those came to fruition. Like, yeah, Prime 4, like I was predicting, did have a bit more of a story focus. Maybe not like as grandiose as Prime 3, but it had a lot more emphasis on character interactions and you know, this became a big topic of discussion on social media and YouTube and stuff like that among the Metroid fanbase in general. But because you know, there's the belief of isolation. Metroid is all about isolation, and that's something that I've had discussions with Spring about and some other people about. And I've mentioned it a little bit in my Metroid 1 review, and is that I don't play Metroid for the isolation, but I don't want to also downplay people who do play it for the isolation. I was kind of thinking about it for a while, but now I've kind of arrived at the conclusion that I'm like, okay, I don't really want to downplay anybody because, you know, Metroid is, the isolation is part of the appeal. It's just, for me, it's not the appeal. For me, it's the upgrades. For me, it's the feeling getting stronger. For me, it's the atmosphere, which I know a lot of people link that to isolation, but for me, the atmosphere is how each planet works, the general vibes, you know. And I get the feeling that even then, that discussion is not really that important in the grand scheme of things, because Prime 4 does have plenty of moments where you're not interacting with characters. A lot of the areas, what happens is that you have a good amount of time by yourself, and then you get the characters. And I feel like most of the characters, I ended up enjoying a lot of the characters in Prime 4. Even Miles, I think, to kind of be honest, the problem with Miles is not even his quips. Yeah, I'm like, honest God, I just laugh at the quips because of like, that Miles. No, and more so my problem with Miles is that is that when you're traversing around the desert, he's like, oh, have you checked this place? Oh, you checked this place? Oh, forget to use the upgrades to explore previous areas. And like, can I turn this off? I was fine with the hint system in like Prime 1, especially because that game is a more complex level design that made it so I had to open the map a lot of times. But for Prime 4, it's not nearly as complex. I could figure stuff out on my own, and it's like, Miles, I wish I could turn it off, but you can't. There's an option to turn off tutorials, but to be honest, but they don't turn off Miles. And that's very unfortunate. That's very unfortunate. That is something that they could fix in a patch, but knowing these things, knowing that it's been like 2 months since the game released, or no, 2 months since the game released. Yeah, it doesn't seem like we're getting a patch, and that's unfortunate because Prime 4 otherwise, and outside of the desert, because the desert, my problem is with, okay, I feel like let's get into that thing. For the most part, I really enjoyed Prime 4. It continues a lot of the fun gameplay of Prime 1, and I can only really compare it to Prime 1 and Prime Hunters, but Prime Hunters shall not be spoken up in this cast. Okay. I'll another tangent. I'll just briefly mention Prime Hunters. That is a game that I've been kind of like going back and forth if I'll replay for an eventual re-review or not. I'm not sure what I still don't have an answer to that. But Prime Hunters, I just think on my original playthrough, even though it was only 6 hours long, around 6 hours, the game was not interesting at all. And I'm like, and if anybody is like, oh, but is Prime 4 good? It's like, Prime 4 is good, yes. It's just that, unfortunately, it has the flaws of the desert, where I prefer if the areas were interconnected. Or do like Fusion. Do like Fusion where there are some secret passageways between the areas. There wasn't even that. Like, if I want to go for my spell to, what was the closest one? Like, Fury Green? No, I have to go through the desert, and then I gotta go to Fury Green. And it's like, that takes a while, especially with the load screens on Switch 1, because the loading screens on the Switch 1 version take a while. Like, almost a minute to travel to Fury Green, and like 40 seconds on like the other places. Like, Jesus Christ, it's like Sonic 06 is bad. Although, still not as bad as Sonic 06, because Sonic 06 had so many loading screens, while the loading screens in Prime 4 are really when going between areas. Because when you're in an area itself, there's like no loading screens outside of the door ones, but those are pretty small, so but I guess this is my calling to say that if you're interested in Prime 4 playing on Switch 2, you got HDR, you got 4K, or 120 frames per second, which I've actually never seen 100 frames. As far as I'm aware, I don't think I've ever seen 120 frames per second in motion, so that is a completely unknown experience for me. I really wonder how I would feel seeing that, but I don't also plan on replaying Prime 4 anytime soon. And I'm not sure if I'll even get the Switch 2 version. I mean, it would be nice, especially for the mouse controls to try that out, but I feel like there's other ways I can try out the mouse controls, like, I don't have a Switch 2 yet at the time of recording, but I have Donkey Kong Bonanza, because I was able to cheap, because here in Europe, a physical copy of Donkey Kong Bonanza costs 80 euros. It's quite expensive. But I was able to find the game for 50, which is way better. That's a way better price. So that game has a mode where you can, it's TK Artist. You can like use the mouse controls to paint on the stone thing and just have fun and do shit. So I could try the mouse controls there whenever I get the Switch 2. There's also the Mario Paint. I have tried Mario Paint on Switch 1 through my USB mouse. It does work. But I feel like what? I'm getting a little bit distracted by the gameplay because I'm like, I'll get a beat this boss? No. But I would like to try out how it feels with the Switch 2, because when I tried it on my USB mouse, I really felt like I had to drag to get things across. I'm not sure how much different it will be with the Switch 2 mouse modes, but yeah, I want to try it there, and then maybe I'll do a review. I don't know, a review of Mario Paint. How is that gonna work? I mean, I have done a commentary of Mario Paint, but I didn't really discuss the game too much because, well, there's not that much to talk about outside of the obvious and just doing shit, I still highly recommend people check out. I recommend every commentary. You should check out all my commentaries. But no, yeah, Mario Paint, that would be interesting to try out with the Switch 2's mouse modes. Other games, well, I'm not getting Welcome Tour, at least not anytime soon. It's cheap, but it doesn't feel like it should be priced at all. The thing is, I don't feel like discussing a lot of those things because I will say, unlike most of the people online, I really like most of the things that the Nintendo did with the Switch 2. Like, the price point might be a little bit on the expensive, like $450. Although, I'd say that the price of the console is fair, considering what you're getting. And considering it's a much more premium experience. I feel like I got most. The only thing I don't like is the game key cards, which at some points they feel like necessary evil. At other points it really feels like third parties cheapening out. Or Pokemon Company cheapening out. Pokopia. The game does look interesting from what I've... Like, some people who've done previews... Like, people already did previews of that game. And people are enjoying it. And it has, like, cloud-based servers and stuff like that. So I think you could, like, use cloud save there, which is good compared to other Pokemon games. But, game key card. The game key cards... I don't like that. I think the battery life it's a bit on the small side, but it's also like I played with the original model of the Switch 1. I'm used to it. I'm fine. I think 2.5 3-hour sessions in handheld mode is fine for me. And I'm glad that we're getting a lot of third-party ports. Like, a lot of the people did not like the recent partner showcase we had, and that's fine. I get it. But for me, as a person who plans to use the Switch 2 as my primary console. Hell yeah, I want to play Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. I want to play this game and that game. You know, the ones I'm interested in. It's like so. There's nothing wrong here. And also, if there is a general direct happening in the future, then maybe the big ones come in there. I don't know. I mean, I'm not gonna like predict anything. I'm fine with what we have. And also, the State of Play recently came out. And I'm like, we're getting a new Castlevania. I'm so excited. I like legit was so happy when that got announced. I'm very much looking forward to it, and playing on the Switch or Switch 2, because let's see when I get the Switch 2. I feel like the thing is, unlike the people on the line, I don't feel the need that Nintendo needs to constantly pump out like we need the big games to unite the community. The 3D Mario, the Zelda, or the Smash. I'm like, hey, those can wait. I mean, those are guaranteed, right? So let's give other franchises time to shine. We got the Monkey, we got Donkey Kong, we got Mario Kart World, which I mean that's a big one. We got Kirby Air Riders, which I'm very much looking forward to playing because I enjoyed playing Kirby Air Ride, in December. That was fun. I even played with a friend through Parsec, and that was really fun. What else? There's the Metroid Prime 4, which I played on Switch 1. Pokemon, no. There's Mario Tennis Fever, which I don't think it's worth 70 or 80 euros. But I thank you, Vinted, for giving me games at cheap prices. They're so nice. They're so nice. So yeah, and then other games will come. I mean, Fire Emblem. I want to play Free Houses eventually, and I know I don't need to play Free Houses to play Fortune's Weave, but it does seem like the two games are connected. And I'm like, I think it would be nice if I played Free Houses before Fortune's Weave. And just playing the Switch 1 games that I still have not played. I mean, my Switch 1 physical library is like over 30 games, but there's still plenty of games I have not played. I've not played Luigi's Mission 2 or 2 HD or free. I've not played Fire Emblem Free Houses. I've not played Splatoon 3. I have not played some Zelda games. The only Zelda games on the Switch that I've played are Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom. I have not played the remake of Link's Awakening. I have not played Echoes of Wisdom. And I hear those are better on Switch too, so that's nice. Hyrule Warriors Definitive Edition, I always was curious on that one specifically. I'm not sure about the other two Hyrule Warriors games, but that one specifically, I want to play it. I want to try it out. I'm not sure about Mario spin-offs. I'm not much into that, but like 3D World plus Buster's Fury, absolutely, I would like to play that because I already played the original Wii U version, and I 100% the whole fucking thing. Yes. Beat all the levels with all the characters and stamps and I'm so tired. I don't think I'll do that again on the Switch too, but I would like to play that game online multiplayer because it does have that, and I would love to play it with some friends. But Bowser's Fury, I'm also very interested in playing Bowser's Fury. What else? There's a bunch of stuff. The Switch 1 might be just one of the greatest consoles ever, because as much as I love my PlayStation 3, the Switch 1 has also introduced me to a lot. Like, it has given me the chance to play so many games that I otherwise would not have played. Just thinking on my first year with the system, like in late 2018 to late 2019, because I get the system on Christmas of 2018. I'm just thinking of like, oh, I got to play Castlevania Anniversary Collection. That's the first time I really got to play some of these classic games. I got to play Smash Ultimate and Super Mario Odyssey. It's funny how the first two games I got for my Switch 1 were the big 3D platformer and the next Sakurai game. What are the next games I plan on playing for the Switch 2? It's Donkey Kong Bonanza, which is the next 3D platformer, and the game I would like to get afterwards is Kirby Air Riders, the next Sakurai game. Funny how history repeats itself. Maybe the Switch 2's first year is a lot like the Switch 1's first year. It just doesn't have Zelda. Because people don't want to accept that 3D Donkey Kong is actually kind of a big deal. I mean, it has already sold over 4 million copies. That's amazing. But whatever. I'm confident that Nintendo will deliver on the goods. I just wish that they weren't so greedy at some points. But, oh well. Vinted is there to help me. And, yeah. The Switch 2 is just pretty much nearly everything what I wanted, which is a system that can accommodate more modern third-party games, because I want to play them on the go. And because even if I don't use the portability, I just like that it's there, Like, I realized that when I played the classic Mega Man games, the Legacy Collections, I played, like I had the PC versions. I could have just not gotten the Switch versions, but I wanted to get the Switch versions, just because I wanted to play them portably. And while I ended up not playing the games portably, most of them, I think I ended up playing Mega Man 2, second playthrough of Mega Man 2 on the go. Just the fact that I have that option is great. I mean, that served me well when I was playing through Tropical Freeze, because I played Tropical Freeze on the Switch, and then I beat it, and then I decided, and then me and my family were traveling a little bit, and then I brought my Switch 1 with me, and I decided to play more Tropical Freeze, and then I decided to go after the Kong Glitters. It was mainly I think Kong Glitters already had them. It was the puzzle pieces that I was missing, and then eventually I actually got everything in my the gacha machine. So that was great. Just the fact that I could bring on the go, and I thought that the 3 hours of battery life were just enough for me. So, yeah, the Switch is really that great of a system. It's perfect, and that's why the Switch 2 is pretty much a continuation of that, which is exactly what I wanted Nintendo to do. So, yeah. I wonder what we're gonna get in the future. I mean, 3D Mario is eventually coming out. Smash, I don't see Nintendo waiting too long on Smash, but I also wonder where Smash goes. But I think they'll figure something out. Zelda, that'll wait, but we'll see. And, what else? Well, Fire Emblem is coming, so that's nice. We got Splatoon Raiders on the way. We don't know when that's coming out at the time of recording. But, I think eventually that'll happen. And then maybe a Splatoon 4 that shakes up the formula a little bit. Who knows? But they're now updating Splatoon 3 again, so maybe they'll have to wait a long time. I'm curious about Mercury Steam's new Metroid project with Yoshio Sakamoto overseeing it, because 2021 was the year of Dreads, and there were already some rumors back then that they were going to do a new 2D Metroid game by 2025. That was going to be released by 2025. Of course, with Metroid Prime 4 getting that 2025 release date, it seems like this one is going to be pushed out. I'm not sure if it's coming out in 2026, but if it is announced this year, I'll be very happy, because I'm very much looking forward to what Samus's next adventure might be, especially because Dread was the end of a saga, and I'm curious where Samus is going from here. I'm very curious. But yeah, besides that, I think, because I have a lot of, you know what, I think what I can do, and this I think will be a little bit fun, is I can go through my physical library, not all, so the digital games will not be included, but like my physical library, the Switch one, and just talk about like small experiences with each of the games. So, looking the way I organize, so I organize like first-party franchises and third-party franchises. The first one is Super Mario Odyssey. That was the first game I ever got on the Switch. I got it for free, actually, because Fnac, one of the retailers over here, was doing a promotion where you could claim one of 5 Switch games alongside your purchase of the Switch around that time. I wanted the Switch. We barely were able to gather the color variation, which is the one I wanted. I didn't want the gray Joy-Cons, I wanted the neon Joy-Cons. We were just barely able to find it, so that was nice. And the 5 games that were selected were Super Mario Odyssey, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu, and Pokemon Let's Go Eevee, and Super Mario Party Jamboree. I already wrote Pokemon off because it's Pokemon. And then Super Mario Party Jamboree, I also wrote that off because that is a game that is best played with friends, and it would take me quite a while for me to get into the Mario parties. It wouldn't be until like the original trilogy came on N64 and SO where I would finally play the games, and I had a really fun time with those games. And Smash Ultimate was the one I really wanted, but it was sold out, and I didn't want to get the digital copy. I want to get the physical copy because the big reason why I want physical media is not just because it looks nice on my shelf. It's all and for like preservation purposes. Those two, but the main reason is really to save space on the console, and that was back before I had my micro SD card, my 256 micro SD card on my Switch one. So I really wanted just to save space. But yeah, the Super Mario Odyssey was like that was pretty much the leftover, and I got it, and I'm so glad I did because I'm not sure when I would get to that game, but I had like a blast, and it was perfect too because I got the game in like December, like at Christmas, and then I wasn't able to find a Smash Ultimate physical copy till like early February, so it took me that long for me to see physical copies anywhere. But Super Mario Odyssey, I 100% the whole fucking thing. And I say when I mean 100%, I mean 100%. Like, not just only all the normal moons, but also all the fucking 999 moons and oh shit. My frustrations when I found out I shouldn't have gone here yet. I had to backtrack, so I decided to just cut that out. But like. Yeah, I 100% the whole thing. I did the 199 moons, and I also did because I had not really any other game on Switch 1. I would tinker with some free-to-play games. Like I played a little bit of Fortnite, and back when that was popular, and I played it I played like a couple matches. One of the matches I ended up winning by just spawning in a bunch of. But I got some balloons, and I pretty much played the pacifist route as the and I just used balloons to get myself higher. Nobody caught me, and then I got a victory royale. I was like, okay. And then afterwards, I just installed games because like, I don't care about this. There was Brawlhalla, which was really just me. I just want Smash, and then the moment I got Smash, I stopped playing Brawlhalla altogether, and I uninstalled it. So, but Super Mario Odyssey didn't have much, so what I did was I also did level 50. Got a level 50 in Luigi's Balloon World, which is... The grinding is immense, but hey, it was fun. It was fun. Then the second game was Smash Ultimate. By the time I got 100%, I did everything. It was only a matter of days before I was able to find a Smash Ultimate physical copy. And then when I played Smash Ultimate for so long. Like, for a while, the only two physical games I had were, indeed, Super Mario Odyssey and Smash Ultimate. And Smash Ultimate was like the thing I was playing for a while. And I also had gotten the Fire's Pass and Piranha Plant because I just barely missed the promotion to get Piranha Plant for free. So yeah, I just played a lot of Smash and eventually got all the challenges. It didn't take me that long. I think it was only a matter of months before I got all the challenges done, including the online ones because that was back when I didn't have a subscription of it, and I just took like a week. Like a free trial to do these challenges, and I was able to do them no problem. And then it wouldn't be till late July, not even my birthday. Late July, July 31st, where I would get my next physical games, Breath of the Wild, and Sonic Mania. And Sonic Mania, I played both, and that was a great like team up because Sonic Mania was fun. You know, as much as I don't think Sonic Mania is that amazing nowadays, and how much I have not gone back to play it ever since. I played Sonic Mania a lot, and I enjoyed that game. It is a good Sonic game, you know, just not like the big thing to shake up the franchise, you know. But that's just there's other opinions for another day. And Breath of the Wild was a game I had a lot of fun. I played that a lot in handheld modes, and did a lot of 3-hour sessions, and then I would just charge up and then play even more because I wanted to do all the shrines. And I did it. I still have a lot of fond memories playing Breath of the Wild. I would love to replay it someday with the Switch 2 edition. Especially because that's free if you have expansion pack, which is really nice. And then afterwards, what did I play? I think I can look. I'll look at my Switch because I have a group where I organize all the games by when I got them. You know, the way I have them here on my shelf, I organize by first party to third party. Here I have on the group, I organize my physical games by when I got them. So after Sonic Mania was Sonic Forces, I think that was in September or October, one of those. Sonic Forces is Sonic Forces. I will leave my talk for Sonic Forces for another day. Then afterwards, the Street Fighter 35th Anniversary Collection, which is another example of me being able to play a game, to try out a series through one of these collections. Collections on the Switch 1, there's so many collections on the Switch 1, they're so great, there's so many great collections out there. And this is the first time I really played a lot of these Street Fighter games. You know, before, I only really played, I only had emulated the SNES version of the original Street Fighter 2. And I enjoyed it, but I played on the easiest difficulty, and because that was a console version, I could not see the ending. So, yeah. But with the arcade, you don't have to worry. You can put it on the lowest difficulty, and you'll still see the ending, so that's nice. Even though the collection itself was a little bit flawed, it's still a good collection, I'd say. Like, if you don't care too much about... If you just want to play these games casually, if you're not, like, a competitive player, if you want to play these games casually, perfect. It's perfect. And the online is okay. You know, the online is okay. I had some matches with my friend Spring, and we had fun. Then afterwards, yeah, it wouldn't be until July of 2020 where I got Xenoblade Definitive Edition. And that was originally gonna be my birthday present, my only birthday present. But I also saw Travis Strikes Again No More Heroes on clearance because they were selling the physical copy of that for $10, and the physical copy comes with DLC. So I snagged it. I was like, oh, they're selling Xenoblade for cheaper than I was thinking because it was Nintendo Week. That's not did so. It was like what, a 25% discount, which is great. And then TSA. So I got both of those games, and I focused more on Xenoblade first, and I still love that game. It's one of my favorite games of all time. But then Travis Strikes Again was also a pretty fun game in its own right. I think one day I'll replay it, just not anytime soon. Then in September, because this was 2020, Nintendo had decided to, let's make some limited releases. And I was like, I didn't get all of them. I didn't get the Fire Emblem one because I was like, you know what, this is probably a game that I'm not going to enjoy that much. So, especially because it was OG, a Fire Emblem. So I decided, nah, it's probably not the best to get it. But I got Super Mario 3 All-Stars, and I mean, it's a bare bones as fuck collection, but I did enjoy my time. It was the first time I beat Sunshine 100%. It was, Super Mario 64 is always a nice one to go back and play, and Galaxy was also a nice one to play, although if I play Galaxy again, it will probably be with the Wii version, since I think the point controls are just better, to be honest. The gyro controls in docked mode are not that bad. I'm completely fine with just constantly pressing the button to reorient it, but on handheld mode, no. Unlike Sunshine and 64, I did play in handheld mode. For Galaxy, I did not touch in handheld mode. It's just not touchscreen, nah. But then in like Christmas, I got Bloodstained Ritual of the Night, and Bloodstained is a series that I don't really care too much now. Even before Castlevania got revived recently, I was starting to not really feel the same kind of love I had for Bloodstained. And to be honest, Bloodstained Ritual of the Night is a good game. It's a really good game. It's just that it's Castlevania. Again, it's not really trying anything unique. And sometimes that's what you want. But now in retrospect, now even more so with Castlevania Bloodlines Curse, it really goes to show that Bloodstained just doesn't mean anything to me. It was there to fill the gap, and that was that, you know. Especially because, but even for me, it was actually a little bit not that significant. That gap was not even that significant because I still have other Castlevania games to play that I haven't played yet, you know. So I won't deny that it could be great for some people, especially for hardcore Castlevania fans who've been waiting for new entry for years. Like, I won't downplay that. It's just that for me, Bloodstained is a series that I just frankly don't care about anymore. That's as simple as that. Then it would be until October 2021. It took me a long time to get my next physical game, and that was Metroid Dread. And I love Metroid Dread. I've only played it once though, so I don't want to really jump into conclusions. I'm not sure if it can beat Super Metroid in terms of my favorites Metroid game, but Dread was so fun. I had a lot of fun. So this is definitely a game I want to replay sometime. Then afterwards, in Christmas of 2021, I got No More Heroes 3. And No More Heroes 3 is easily my favorite No More Heroes game. But to be honest, in retrospect, I just feel bad that I haven't played a lot of other Studio 51 works. Like, a lot of people would recommend Killer 7. I actually have that on Steam. but I have not played it yet because I haven't been in the mood. But recently, another game of his came out called Romeo is a Dead Man, and I'm actually very curious on that. Suda said that he's trying to get a Switch 2 version out, and I'm like, oh, I love to play it on Switch 2. Please, please. I don't even know much about the game besides that it's a hack and slash, or it's just an action game. And it looks fun. I want to play it. I want to play it. From the little bit I saw. Then another physical copy, I think this was in 2022, this was Rocket League, I think. So Rocket League is an interesting one because the game is free digitally. So you may be wondering, why do you get the physical copy? You know, why do you have to buy? Simple. Because I knew that Rocket League was going to be big on my system. You know, it's a big file size. And even more so with the updates. So if I can remove part of that at least, it would be good. And yeah, my theory was proven right. But then I ended up not playing Rocket League that much. And then eventually I would just uninstall the game. I mean, you can't... uninstalling, which seems weird. Like, it's a physical game. It's like, yeah, I installed the updates and everything. And nearly everything related to it. The save data is still there. But I just don't care to play Rocket League again. So, yeah. Then it was Xenoblade 2, where it took me a long time to get Xenoblade 2. But, I said to myself that I really wanted to play Xenoblade 2 for years. Like, I was hyped for the game when it was announced back in 2017. And then it was in that summer that I played Xenoblade 1 through the Wii U eShop. And I ended up loving the game. That I really wanted to play Xenoblade 2, but it took me so long to get it. But then I finally got it, and I enjoyed the game so much that I beat it in like 8 days. Like a week. Did a little bit over a week. Yeah. I did switch to easy after a while, because there were some parts that were getting a little bit difficult. And I did not want to suffer the same problems that I had with Xenoblade 1 in terms of difficulty, especially because RPGs are not like my bread and butter. But I can appreciate action RPGs more. It's just still, you know, and this was a case where I really wanted to see the story. Yeah, that was a great game. I highly recommend it, even with its flaws. Like, Xenoblade 2 is one of those, it's a 5 out of 5, but it has some flaws that prevent it from being absolutely perfect, you know? Yeah. But besides that, what else? Then, yeah, after Xenoblade 2 was Sonic Frontiers. Sonic Frontiers is a very interesting game to talk about, because I think back then I had a lot of praise for it, and I still have a decent amount of praise for it, but I think in hindsight I'd say it's not a 4.5, it's like a 4. It's like an 8. It's like, it's pretty good, but yeah, not like amazing or anything like that. But I would have to replay the game to truly reach a proper conclusion. Then Metroid Prime Remastered. This was the first time I played Prime 1, before I ended up playing the original version recently. And Metroid Prime... Yeah, I already briefly talked about it earlier, so there's not much more I could say. But Remastered is a great way to play the game, because of the modern control scheme. Because my favorite control scheme is like dual stick plus gyro. That is really good for shooters. And the new graphics just look very pretty. Like, Retro Studios did an amazing job, so yeah. And it's only $40. It's not 60, it's 40. So that's nice. I would say I would love if Retro Studios did the same treatment for Prime 2 and Prime 3, but at this point it doesn't seem like it's gonna happen, so let Retro Studios do something else, even if it might just be Prime 5. Hey, no, they got a new team now. If they learn from the mistakes of Prime 4 and deliver a good experience, then I'm all here for it. I mean, at the end of the day, I still liked Prime 4 in spite of its flaws, so... like Sir Miles McKenzie says, so... win? Then after that, in like April of 2023, this is already 2023, I got Bayonetta 1. And Bayonetta 1 was a very interesting one, because Bayonetta, I've always wanted to get Bayonetta for the longest time. But then Nintendo, at the end of like 2022, around summer, they announced that Bayonetta 1 would be getting a limited physical release, you know, by itself. So you don't need, Bayonetta 1 gets its own physical release and don't need to just rely on the code for Bayonetta 2. And that's great. It's like, I was like, okay, I always wanted to play Bayonetta. Let me check this out. The thing is that in Japan and the United States, it released in stores all willy-nilly. In Europe, it got delayed to a point where, and then they just said, oh, it would be my Nintendo Store exclusive. And then that got delayed all the way until April of 2023. So it took many months. And then when that shit appeared, I was like, okay, get it. It's kind of troublesome. I don't really get collector's editions, so I don't feel the same amount of pain that other people have felt when trying to buy off the My Nintendo Store, because I don't really get collector's editions. The only one I've gotten in my life is Twilight Princess HD. That was because it was like the same price as a normal price game. And it had pretty much what I wanted, which is Amiibo and CD. But this was like, ugh. But thankfully, it was like, because it was $30, it was over 25, got free shipping. So, and then it came out okay, and I played the game, and I really enjoyed it. This is a game I definitely want to replay. Probably closer to when I'm get like Bayonetta 2 and Bayonetta 3, because I still want to play those games. A little bit unsure on Origins, because it does look like a completely different gameplay style. But I do at least want to play the trilogy. You know, replay 1, and then play 2 and 3 eventually. Mario Kart Deluxe, this is a game that's like, yeah, it took me this long to get Mario Kart Deluxe. Ain't that something? But it's because I saved it up. I was able to save up a bunch of money, and it alongside other games I was able to get in 2023, and because also the DLC was happening around that time. So I got Mario Kart Deluxe, and it's a fun game. It's kind of like the ultimate Mario Kart. But now Mario Kart World is appearing, and while it has its flaws, it looks so much fun to play. Like, I was able to very briefly try it on a kiosk. And when I say briefly, I say very briefly. So I was not able to really get into the meat and potatoes of the game. But already from the feel, I was like, I like it. So, yeah. Then I got Splatoon 2, which was also another game that I wanted for years, but didn't get it to that point. And even then, Splatoon 1 was a game that I played so many hours on the Wii U. Splatoon 2, I only really did the single player campaign and barely played online. I didn't even do the Octo expansion yet, and that's something that I want to fix, especially because it comes with the expansion pack. I should really do that at some point or another. Maybe whenever I go back to Splatoon 1 and I do a review, and then Splatoon 2, I do a review of that. Stuff like that. But then it was Tears of the Kingdom. This was one of the very few games I got day 1. So I got this day 1, I got Sonic Frontiers and Metroid Prime Remastered day 1, and Super Mario 3 All-Stars was also day 1. And Tears of the Kingdom, I was simply hyped for it. It was as simple as that. I was simply hyped for it, and then I played the game. I put like 70 hours into it. I did all the shrines, and I had fun, and then I moved on. Just like Breath of the Wild, really. Yeah, I really like Tears of the Kingdom. I would like to replay it someday, but probably not anytime soon, because it's a big game, and I'm not sure what my replay would constitute. But it was a good time. But it's one of those, if you didn't like Breath of the Wild and all that entailed, you are probably not gonna like Tears of the Kingdom. So it's as simple as that. Although my friend Klaus, he did play Breath of the Wild, he didn't really enjoy it, and then he played Tears of the Kingdom, and he actually did enjoy that one. So then I got Xenoblade 3, which is like another, like, this one I didn't want to miss too much, so I only missed it by like a year. And Xenoblade 3 is interesting because it's a game that has a lot of rights, but I guess this is really just personal. It didn't impact me the same way as Xenoblade 1 and 2 did, especially 1. So, yeah. But, maybe one day I'll replay the game. Then I got a couple of, like 4 games. Because I was going to Japan at the time. I got 4 games. I got Final Fantasy Reverie series. I got Celeste. I got Nier Automata. And I got the Ninja Turtles Cowabunga collection to play there. And I had a lot of fun with these games. And then I just gotta keep things brief for now because we're getting to more modern stuff. Then I got Sonic Superstars, then I got Persona 5 Strikers, Super Mario Bros. Wonder, Sonic X Generations, Crash Bandicoot and Sin Trilogy. I still have yet to get Crash 4. Marvel vs. Capcom Fighting Collection, Arcade Classes. This was the first time I imported. I did talk about it in my Marvel vs. Capcom commentaries. Especially, I think no, that was before. I talked about it was the code unboxed, and I kind of vented my frustrations a little bit in my Sonic Adventure 2 commentary. Got Sonic the Amiga Party Central. Sonic Amiga was like a nice game to play last year. Then Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze, like I briefly talked about. Final Fantasy 7 and 8, because I already had Final Fantasy 7 digitally, but this was a physical copy I really wanted. Not coded to the box, actual physical copy, and eventually I will be playing 8. Rayman Legends, which yes, that is a great-ass 2D platformer. And then Once Upon a Katamari, which a friend of mine gifted me, I thank you. But I did shelve because I wasn't in the mood. So I think I'll come back to this later. And then the last one has been Metroid Prime 4. So, yeah. I get the feeling that this group will eventually become a little bit outdated when I get to Switch 2. Because while I do not plan on doing the system transfer, between consoles. I still like the Switch One to be largely independent. I do plan on using the clouds, my NSO subscription to use the cloud save data and transfer that to the Switch 2 for like games like Smash Ultimates and like Mario RC whenever I do replay it, stuff like that. Yeah. So the Switch One will eventually stop getting mini games besides like Splatoon 2. But like Splatoon 2, Splatoon 3, I plan on doing that for Switch 2. So for now, like, I'm not getting a whole lot of Switch 1 games. It's as simple as that. But yeah, going back to Metroid Zero Mission. This is a little bit funny. So, no, you didn't see that. You didn't see that. The Switch. No. Going back to Metroids. It's funny because in my replay through, the failed recording, for some reason Crate was giving me shit. I think I was not like completely prepared for it. In this one, my Crate run went a lot better. Ridley though, as we're gonna see in a bit, it's not tough at all. I'd say it's one of the easiest fights in the entire series against him. And then Brain gave me a little bit of shit, like I said earlier, and I was getting kind of reckless. And then Robo Ridley is Robo Ridley, you know. But Ridley is hideout. There's so many of these small little extra passageways where you could get a bunch of missiles expansions if you do these puzzles. I'm like, not really a fan of that. So for this run, for all my runs really, for these recent runs specifically, I don't try and get all this stuff because I know there's a room in particular, in either Ridley or Crate. I think it's Ridley, where you need to do a speed booster. You have a free frame window to do a jump so you can break the speed booster block so you can get the missile expansion. That timing is stupid, and I'm like, no. Especially because by the end, I have just enough missiles to defeat. I have enough missiles, super missiles that I get by the end. Power bombs are kind of useless. Yeah, I'm pretty much good, you know, because Zero Mission is not that hard. Maybe if I was playing on hard mode, maybe. But even then, power bombs would still be kind of useless because it's not like power bombs do a lot of damage on Robo Ridley. No, you use missiles or super missiles on that guy, you know. But yeah. Ooh. You know, I haven't really need to drink some water. It's one of those things that I'm not really used to. It's been a while since I've done a solo commentary. Last time I did was like Kazan no Notam, like I said earlier, and that one was shorter than this. You know, I think back then I had back during my Super Metroid commentary, I didn't know where the commentaries were gonna go, so I didn't exactly know that it was gonna become a series. So it was like I talked about anything I wanted, you know. I guess what I could talk about is another thing that I guess I could talk about is well, okay, no, it's kind of oops, improving again. What else? Oh, the recent state of play in general. I talked about Castlevania coming back, but Metal Gear Solid, Master Collection Volume 2. It only has 3 games, unfortunately, and they actually have delisted the recent games, which is unfortunate. They should have waited if they were gonna do that. I personally prefer not to delist stuff, but if you were gonna do, at least wait. At least it's not like the Yakuza series where, oh, we're delisting Yakuza 3 Remastered because of Yakuza Kiwami 3, even though they're kind of different experiences from what I've heard. I don't really want to get into that discussion because I haven't been with the Yakuza series in a long while. But all I'll say is that from what I've seen, a lot of Yakuza fans are pissed and don't really like Kiwami 3 at all. Like, there's barely anything of value, from what I understand. And it's like, that is quite unfortunate. You know, thankfully I still have my original Yakuza 3 copy on my PS3. So if I ever replay the game, it will be on there. But it's sad. It's just sad, the state it is. I mean, the only thing I can really say is that I hope they learn. That's all. I hope they learn. Because after a while, it's like, well, after a while, you gotta learn, you know? You can't just keep making mistakes over and over. Like, eventually, it's gonna cut into sales. And then you're gonna be like, oh, well, we fucked up. We gotta do something. Let's send out a survey and see what people don't like. Or what people like and stuff like that. And blah, blah, blah. It's simple marketing shit, you know? I studied marketing, so I do know this kind of stuff. But I don't think you even need to be an expert in marketing to understand that kind of stuff. Yeah, the recent state of play was Metal Gear Solid Volume 2, which, it's funny that that's coming to Switch 1, but I can see myself getting the Switch 2 version. But we'll see. I don't think there will be an upgrade pack, as far as we're aware. It would be nice so I could get, like, a physical version on Switch 1, but even then, it won't mean much, because already with Volume 1, the games were not on the carts, you know? You had to install them directly. So it's like, doesn't really mean anything at that point on the Switch 1 version. But I'm glad that Metal Gear Solid 4 is coming back. The piss and shit filter seem to be downplayed a little bit, which is nice. And some people will say, oh, but my artistic vision is like, the game still looks as good as before. Now it's at 60 FPS. I think the artistic vision is being preserved. It's just that, hey, instead of having a shit ton of boom, how about we just tone that down a bit? That's nice. And then Ghost Babble is there, which is awesome. And they're calling it Ghost Babble even for Americans, so that is very nice. I always had the idea that if they ever came back to a Metal Gear and made a new installment, they should just go from that timeline and just make something different. So you can distance yourself away from the Kojima stuff. Because Kojima stuff, it's not even because, oh, Metal Gear doesn't work without Kojima. It can't work. It can't work. Ghost Babble or Portable Ops are good examples. It's more so that the saga's over. And just move on. Let's just move on. So, like, yeah. But if they want to make a new game, that's my suggestion. But I feel like they'll do something else. Whenever they have the goal to make a new Metal Gear game. That's the thing. What else? The state of play, they announced some God of War stuff. The Trilogy remake and Ghost Sons of Sparta. A new 2D Metroidvania game, which I hear some mixed things about. But the Trilogy remake, nothing was shown. But the thing is, I have not played God of War. But one of the things I want to do this year, and let's see if I can do it or not, is play God of War. I want to play the original trilogy on my PlayStation 3 and possibly the PSP games and in session. At least those, the Greek mythology games. I won't wait until the remake because I don't have a PS5. I do want to get a PS5 someday, but not anytime soon because Switch 2 is priority and then I want to get a PC. Not just for gaming, not really for gaming. Gaming won't be the priority even though I want a gaming PC because I want a powerful machine. It's really because I want a better system so I can record stuff or having to deal with audio crackles and stuff like that or stutters or just stream stuff better. Just a more powerful computer. That's what I want. And if I can play some modern games, cool, you know, cool. Although again, I prefer playing games on Switch 2 because portability. I like to have that portability, like I said earlier. And then afterwards I'll think about PS5, you know. Oh, here's Ridley. Look, I could just spam. And then he eventually, I think he grabs me and then, yeah. Bye, Ridley. Easy. But yeah, I wanted to play God of War this year, because it has been a series that has been in my radar for a while. Especially because recently I played a lot of Ninja Gaiden games. And the free ones are hack and slashes, and I've been like in an action game mood. Especially because I also got to play Devil May Cry 5 for the first time. Through very odd means. Through Amazon Luna, because they were doing a free trial. It was through the cloud, but it worked phenomenally. So, my connection is pretty good. So, I had fun, and now I wish I could play more. But no, the free trial is over. The game is now out of the Amazon Luna. So, I'm like, it would have been so nice, but oh well. Yeah, well, it is what it is. My hope is that Capcom brings DMC 4 Special Edition, DMC Definitive Edition, and Devil May Cry 5 Special Edition to the Switch 2. Or the Switch 1. But for the last one, Switch 2, because I get the feeling it wouldn't really run on the Switch 1. Just, you know. Here's something interesting that I found out recently. I think if you were to increase a little bit of the RAM of the Switch 1 and overclock it, you would be able to play stuff like Resident Evil 7 and Kingdom Hearts 3, which is very impressive, you know. But again, that's not what the final product is. But now on the Switch 2, they will be able to do it. So another thing that I would request is Kingdom Hearts. You know, I played the Kingdom Hearts games last year, and now what I'm missing is like I want to go to 0.2, I want to go to 3, and then Melody of Memory, and then wait to 4 whenever that game comes out. Anyway, but yeah, I hope they come to Switch 2, and Resident Evil 9 is on Switch 2. It's coming to Switch 2. Pragmata is coming to Switch 2. and they look great. They're like some compromises, but they're super small, so it's like, who cares at that point? At that point, who fucking cares? Really, who cares? The people online who say their opinions are irrelevant. The internet is a shitstorm. So like, yeah, it's like, oh, the hair is not as flowy, or the frame rate dips here and there for a little bit. It's not even dips that much. It's like it dips only like a couple frames. Ooh, get a life. No, that's completely fine. It is completely good. It is a good version. If you have a Switch 2, you play it there. If you want a portability, you play it there. There you go. You know, there you go. That's what I wanted the Switch 2 to be. And I hope more games come, like Final Fantasy 16, because that's a Final Fantasy game that I'm interested in. You know. But yes. Now that both Kraid and Ridley have been defeated, now I'm just making my way downtown, walking fast to Torian and defeat the Metroids. Yes. But besides that, what else was the state of play? There was a game that I'm actually very interested on, because it just looks pretty neat. Is Project Windless, the one featuring the Rooster Man fighting against this army of various creatures, stuff like that. And I'm like, hey, this actually looks kind of cool. You never would think to see a rooster as the main protagonist, and a buff one at that. So like, hey, that is actually pretty neat. I want to play it. It's just that it's in development. Seems like it's pretty early on, so good luck with developing it, Crafton. That's all I'll say. Yeah. Besides that, there was a canon sequel. That was nice. Dead or Alive is back. I do hear that 6 last rounds, unfortunately, does not have a lot of things that people wanted, like rollback or crossplay, which is unfortunate. But I hope, I'm not sure if they can patch that in, but they're putting new characters, so there's that. And 7 is a thing, and I'm like, hey, they now 7, like, Dead or Alive is back. That's awesome. You know, I played the first one last year, and I enjoyed my time. I'm not sure when I'll come back, because then I'll hit a roadblock. I can't play 3 or 4 because I don't have an Xbox, and I can't emulate them. But as far as I'm aware, I tried Ninja Gaiden Black, it ran like shit. I tried Jet Set Radio Future, ran like shit. So might as well wait for a powerful PC if I want to try them. Unless I just get an Xbox, which, I don't know. But yeah. And then 5, then that's on PS3, so I can play that. And then 6, probably play Last Round. Although Last Round, from what I understand, doesn't bring all the DLC characters back, like the ones from SNK, Mai and Kula. No, they're not being brought back, and I'm like, oh, that's unfortunate. What the hell? So, but what else was there at the state of play? Well, there was a new Konami game called Rev Noir. It's nice to them seeing them do new IPs. That alongside Darwin's Paradise. It's coming on April 2nd. It has a Metal Gear crossover in it, which is nice. Yeah, I think those are the main things I remember from that state of play. There was probably some other stuff. There was a Sean Wick game, for example. That looks interesting, but it's a far ways off. So, yeah, there's not much to say. Oh, look! It's the Metroids! We'll eat you. Ah, poor Metroids. To think they were once the creation of the Chozo, meant to just stop the goddamn X-Parasites. Oh well. They got now controlled by Mother Brain. Gotta defeat them. Yeah. What else? But yeah, yes. What else? I don't think there was much more that got announced on the state of play. But I think the partner showcase, there's one thing I can talk about, which is Doraemon. The original Doraemon Famicom game actually getting not translated, but like brought over outside Japan. Like Doraemon is one of my childhood heroes. And like I just really like him, and I've always been interested in playing some of his games. And while I've heard that original one is very confusing and stuff like that, and a bit difficult, quite difficult from what I understand, it was one of the first games he got. It was made by Hudson Soft, so Konami has partial ownership alongside the current owners of Doraemon. So I'm very much looking forward to when that releases. I think that releases in late July, so it's a bit of a ways off, but you know. maybe I'll get it if they have rewind, especially because for a game like that, that's difficult and confusing. Like, yeah, I don't know. But yeah, that was one of the highlights for me in that direct. Besides, like Final Fantasy VII Rebirth already coming in June and looking great, which is awesome. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, Partner Showcase. That's what I'm remembering at the moment. There was also the Super Bomberman collection, which I also feel like getting eventually, especially because the physical copy is coming later than normal. I'm like, okay. They're doing that strategy where you release the digital version first, and then you make people want to double dip with the physical copy. But you shall not fool me, Konami. I will, I will get the physical copy. I'll wait for that. Especially because it's all on Switch 1 and Switch 2, and I'm not. I think it should be on other platforms. I think it's on Steam at least. But it should be also on PlayStation, I think. So, there's that. What else was the partnership? There was the Bethesda stuff. They ended on Todd Howard for the Western versions of the Direct. For the Japanese one, I think they ended on RE9, which is not that much better, to be honest, because it's, you know, we've seen so much RE9s. Like, we know about the game now, okay? But yeah, they ended on Bethesda, and hey, it's nice to see Oblivion Remastered, and it's funny, from my understanding, Oblivion Remastered is actually a better Switch 2 port than fucking Fallout 4, which is an older game. Like, what the hell? What happened there? Oh, well. Not that I really care too much about Bethesda. Maybe the Indiana Jones game, it does look good, especially because it will actually come on the card, which is awesome. But I'm not sure. I'm not much into Elder Scrolls. I did consider Skyrim many years ago, but my interest has just kind of fallen off. So, you know what I want? I want Hi-Fi Rush. I know that's no longer Bethesda, but like, Crafton, please give me the Switch 2. Give me the Switch 2 version of Hi-Fi Rush. I love to play that game again. And Koei Tecmo, hey, give me Ninja Gaiden 4. I know this is published by Microsoft, so Microsoft, hey, give me Ninja Gaiden 4. And Killer Instinct 2013, that would be nice. I think we still have yet to really see Xbox really showcase like games that are like, because they said that the Switch 2 is such a good platform, but then they haven't really announced any games coming to it. So that's like really the Bethesda stuff, you know, because now Bethesda is owned by Microsoft. That's very weird, you know, to be honest. But oh well, it is what it is. Here it is. Mother Brain, and you can tell that I was getting pushed a lot. I really should have frozen the Rinkas a whole lot better, but I was just going all guns blazing, and I was getting knocked into the acid so long. Well, I guess in this case it wouldn't be acid, it would be lava, because no, wait, the gravity suit is the one that has the resistance against acids, but I have the various suits, so yeah, we don't have the no gravity suit, no. But I do beat it before I do run out of health, so yeah. But Mother Brain actually attacks in this version. Look at that laser beam. That's it. It's still kind of an annoying boss fight because of everything around it. Because you can be so easily knocked back in this game. And I feel especially here compared to like Super Metroid. Although, I mean, I think every Metroid game has knockback to a degree. It's just that I really feel in this boss, you know. I really feel it. But yeah. Mother Brain fucking toast. That was actually a password in the original Metroid game. And it's funny. I think what happens when you put that password is that the game thinks that you've taken so fucking long that when you get there, you just start in Torian. When you get to Mother Brain, she's gone, and then Samus cries at the end because you took too much time. I think that's like the worst ending you get, is Samus crying. It's like she failed to beat the mission on time. It's very interesting. But speaking of other Metroid 1 passwords, there was the Nara password, which is the one that I used when I first played Metroid 1, which is pretty much the debug mode. It gives like infinite missiles, infinite health. Just focus on going to Ridley and Kraid, beat them. There you go, you beat, and then go Torian, beat Mother Brain. There you go, you finished Metroid. Yippee! And then there was like, God, it was engage Ridley, motherfucker, which can break your game, but it could also produce some amusing effects. I mean, on NSO, you try to import it, it's just that, oh, there was an error, it crashed, the game just, and NSO just automatically boots you out. So that's pretty funny. There was also another password. There was the Justin Bailey password, where you could play Samus without Ursit, with green hair and a red piece. So that's nice. If you also get the best ending, your New Game Plus will start there. Yeah, we've beaten Metroid Zero Mission, guys. We've beaten it. Now we can just relax and uh-oh. No! Space pirates. Gotta leave. And we don't have our suit anymore. Although, if we think about it, the manga and Other M both show that the power suit can't come back from the Zero suits. But in this game, it kind of establishes that she just kind of abandoned the power suit, and then when she got fired up, boop, was just stuck at Zero suit. That's a bit of an inconsistent thing. I'm not sure if there's any explanation for that or not. But oh well, it is what it is. Damn it. You know, this is the first time we really see the Zero Suit Samus concept, where we see Samus without suits. And then I think later games just kind of established that the Zero Suit and the Power Suit are kind of connected. I mean, Other M, from the cutscenes I've seen, because I haven't played the game yet, kind of establishes that from the Zero Suit, she can make the Power Suit appear. And then depending on her emotions or her health and stuff like that, the Power Suit can just kind of disappear, because the power suit is an organic suit, which is very interesting to think about. Oh, the Chozo, they've made such weird, wacky shit. But yeah, this is a brand new segment to Zero Mission, Chozodia, where we're stuck as Zero Suit Samus. We have a pea shooter that can't even kill enemies and can only stun them when it's fully charged. At least it charges them automatically. And now we just kind of defend ourselves in a stealthy-like segment. Oh, look at that! This is one of the easiest parts of the game. Very sneaky. This theme that's playing right now, you barely hear it. At the moment you're caught, it just completely replaces it. Even when there's like no more enemies around you, you still hear the tense music and no longer hear this like secretive theme, and that's a bit of unfortunate. But oh well, it is what it is. It is also interesting because, jumping ahead a little bit here, the Chozodia, it's kind of like a ship, because Chozodia is a combination of the Chozo Ruins and the Space Pirate home ship. But the Space Pirate home ship, by the end, it blows up, right? It could have been the perfect place to do. This could have been the right ship, but I think Yoshio Sakamoto has confirmed that. No, they're different things, and I'm like, I don't know. That's weird to say, but okay, sure. I guess the level design isn't exactly the same. Level design or even the architecture, I think when you look into the backgrounds of the wrecked ship in Super Metroid, it's not that much like, it's a bit different from this, so I guess, I don't know. Meh. But that makes me question, if this isn't the wrecked ship, then the wrecked ship comes from where? You know, it might be just another space pirate ship that just crash landed at some time after or before that we just don't see in Zero Mission. And then yeah, it just got abandoned, and then Fantune conquered that. That's interesting looking back. But yeah, you gotta run. And the thing is that not only can you not stun them, but like an attack from them, it takes a whole energy tank. So I hope you got some energy tanks before going here. Otherwise, you just made things a lot hard, pretty hard for yourself. So you can, like, again, if you kind of follow what I've been doing, or just try to explore as much as you can probably get like 9, that's already decent enough. And here's the interesting thing about Chozodia, is that the save rooms in this place actually refill your health as well, and later on your ammunition, which is something that the other save rooms in the game don't do. So that's interesting. You know, that's something that I kind of wish there was a little bit, because the recharge stations outside of these ones do not return from, you know, Fusion, Super, and 2. And well, it's not really that necessary, to be honest. I will say for right before Mother Brain, it would have been nice if they just gave me a recharge station, just so I could be ready instead of having to grind those enemies. Because as you guys saw, I added that out. I was pretty much just grinding enemies to get my health and my missiles especially back. But yeah, it's kind of slow. It's kind of slow. Oh well, at least I got a pretty tense thing here. But at least we got recharge stations in this part, you know. And then there's situations like this where I kind of have to wait. So like, huh, huh, and then it opens up. And don't worry, if it feels like it's is there for a bit, then just wait, just wait. There's a later one in particular where you have to wait longer than normal for it to work. Ah, I got caught. Shit. And the interesting thing about Sam is that, yeah, like I said before, she's really snappy and very fast. She really does feel fast, so you can make jumps. Jumps are really quick. Running is pretty quick. It really does feel like Samus, even with her power suit, she's very agile in this game, making it just one of the best feeling Samuses in the game, in the series. I'm still, you know, in terms of wall jump, I can't, because the thing is, I can't wall jump in this game for shit. Especially even like Fusion. I mean, Fusion you can do in one wall, and I barely use this wall jump because of that. There weren't that many situations where wall jumping was beneficial in Fusion. In Zero Mission, there are plenty of cases where wall jumping can be beneficial. The problem is that because of how fast this game is, I can't really wall jump on one wall, you know, consistently compared to Super. Because Super, I could, you know, with some practice I could, because the game was more floaty there. But not in this one. So yeah, I can't. I did do some wall jumps here and there, like that one, but not that many. Not that many. I wish I could be better, because if I was better, I could get some items early. I know I have to bomb jump in this one. You could pretty much spam it because bomb jumping in this game is super fast, and it allowed me to get one of the energy tanks a bit early without needing the high jump boots. Yeah. Besides that, yeah, no. For example, I think you could get the very suit early with wall jumping. I think there's some other stuff you could get early with wall jumping. I know you can, if you know how to wall jump enough, you can get to Ridley first, I think. And because it's very interesting, in the original Metroid, you could do, if you want to, you could do Ridley first and then create. But in Zero Mission, they do preserve that. It does feel like Zero Mission does hone you in. It's gonna guide you more towards doing create first and then Ridley. But you can do Ridley first because this game has a lot of developer shortcuts. And one of the ones that I showed off earlier in this commentary is the one where I get the screw tuck early, because it's just some missile blocks, and then with some wall jumping I can just get the screw tuck early, and I always love doing that, because while it does make some parts here and there a little bit harder, it does make a lot of stuff easier, and I just really like using the screw tack. It's just nice getting it early, and that's like ever since I found that out, I can't do it without it, because it's one of the easiest ways to, it's one of the easier items to get early, I'd say. But you can also, I'm not sure if you could get to super. I think you can get super missiles early in this game. I know you could in Super, because you can skip sports spawn with Mach Ball. But I'm not sure about Zero Mission. But there are stuff you could do early, especially with like bomb jumping and stuff like that. I think very suit. I said wall jumping. It might also be bomb jumping. You can do that. In some cases, it might be better to just bomb jump compared to wall jumping. And bomb jumping can also be done diagonally now. I don't think, I've never done it, but damn. And another thing that they introduced in this game is that the Shine Spark is back, right? But now you can do Shine Spark in Morph Ball modes. I can't really do it, to be honest. It wouldn't be until Dread where I was able to do it. And that was because in Dread they gave the ZL button is also the Morph Ball button. But in this game, I remember trying a few times, and I couldn't do the Shine Sparking on Morph Ball modes. And you need to do it if you want to get 100%. Not to beat the game, thankfully, but to 100% and get some items, yeah. And I'm like, okay. But there's just a lot of cool things about Zero Mission, and it's very interesting that this game's development pretty much started as them thinking about porting Super to the GBA, which, if they did that, I would have been very interested in how they do it, because the GBA has less buttons. Therefore, they wouldn't be able to carry over the run button. The Fusion already kind of changed things by making it so that the speed booster is automatically activated after certain points. So I wonder if Super Metroid, if they were to bring Super Metroid to the GBA, if they would have done something similar. But no. But one of the designers decided. But I think Sakamoto himself decided, hey, how about we do one instead? And a good call on him, because one is the more outdated one. And while I think there's still a charm in playing the original Metroids, and I still respect that game a lot. If you're gonna play, if you want to just get into the series, this is your perfect starting point. It really is. And then it's interesting, something similar happened later when Mercury's team reached out to Nintendo and Sakamoto, and they wanted to remake Fusion. But Sakamoto said, no, let's do Chu instead, the other more outdated one, which is good call, Sakamoto. Good call. It's very funny that Sakamoto had that, for a lot of fans, I can't really fully judge him myself, but had that blemish with Other M because of the story, because he wrote that story both, and he even directed the English dub. But in retrospect, Yoshio Sakamoto has done really more good than bad. He is pretty much I'm not sure, he has never really fully apologized. He's more so made up for those mistakes with Samus Returns and Dread, which is great. And also Famicom Detective Club. He was the one who brought it back. That was really cool. So yeah, I want to play Famicom Detective Club one of these days. The remakes first, then MEO, the new game that they made, which is also very cool. That like, oh wow, the remakes did well enough to where they made a new game. It kind of makes me wonder. It's like, did MEO did good? If so, then maybe we could get a new one on the Switch too. That'll be nice. Yeah, I feel like right now maybe they're working on the next 2D Metroid game, and I'm very much looking forward to it. Like I said earlier. By the way, fun fact: there's a power bomb expansion there in that room where you're crawling away from those things, from the space pirates. You can when you come back with the suits, with your new legendary power suits, you could go there and there's a power bomb expansion on top, and I'm like, oh, god damn it, what is this super missile expansion? I think it was a power bomb, but again, it's so useless getting power bombs in this game because you don't really need them, So unless you're going for 100%, that's really is. It's really for going for 100%. If you're like me, just do any percent, then screw it, Now we're close to the ends of the Chozodia. Well, close to the end as it close to the end of the self section, because now everything's moody. There's no space pirates after you. Now Samus is presented with one challenge, one final challenge: seeing the runes of her Chozo people. It reminds her of memories of old, when her and old bird saw these murals when she was like 3 or 4 years old. Now as an adult, Samus is ready to take on the challenge. What is the challenge? I don't know. It's a spiritual thing. Hit ball. Yeah, hit the ball when it lights up 4 times. Don't stay in one place for too long, otherwise lightning will appear, and the timing will get shorter with each ball, each symbol, and that's it. It's interesting. I always have, not always, because I think the failed recording, I had better luck with the 4th one, but for this one, it actually took me quite a while to get the 4th one. But thankfully, it doesn't do as much damage as the space pirates, so it's only a matter of time before you do it. And there's a save point right before in case you die. Yeah, I missed this one quite a bit because the timing on this last one is quite strict. So be prepared. Be prepared. It's been a while since I've watched that movie actually. The Lion King. That was back in 2024 when I watched the Disney Renaissance films with my friends. So yeah. Really? Goddamn. Part of me feels like maybe I should have, nah. Show the fillers to the people. The people. Show the people on the line. Show them. Yeah, it was kind of like there, but I just barely missed it. That was really weird. I don't get it. But then I got it, and there you go. All of this for a new power suit. And hey, we finally get the shoulder pads. This pretty much become the modern suit that Samus would wear going forward, because if this game is any indication, her normal Very suit was just a colors change, but with this, she now gets her iconic shoulder pads, which is really cool. Yeah, and then the unknown items. Now they're the plasma beam, the gravity suit, and the space jump. They were incompatible with the previous suit because I guess Samus forgot to update her suit beforehand. What the hell? Yeah. Let's kick some ass, people! This feels so triumphant. Like, the music in question does get a little repetitive because it's pretty much like a faster paced Brinstar remix, but fucking hell, it feels so triumphant. Like, kicking the... It's very simple, but like, these guys give you trouble. Now you got the means, you got your power suit back, you got the gravity suit now. You got the plasma beam too. Wreck their shit, let's go. It's just so nice. And I'm skipping a bunch of items you could get right here. Like there's a puzzle where Shine Sparking in this game, if you Shine Spark into an incline, you can return back to your speed booster thing, and then you can just do a Shine Spark again if you want to. And that is used a few times to get a few items, and I'm like, nah. Oh, another thing I forgot to mention. This game also brings the power grip, which was a thing that Samus could do naturally in Infusion, but they give, which is the ability to grab ledges. But now they just turn into an actual power up this time around. You know, in terms of a canon thing, it doesn't make much sense because she couldn't grab ledges in Super, but whatever. It doesn't really mean much. It's just nice that she can grab ledges, and it's very convenient. Very convenient. It's also really nice early on before you get the high jump boots to be able to get to be able to do that, you know. But now it's pretty much the home stretch of the game. As now pretty much after you get your suit back, the one thing you need to do is just get to the place where Robo Ridley is. Just return back to the Spacespire home ship or mothership, I think. And then kick Robo Ridley, then you gotta escape, get to the pods, and then there you go. Zero Mission is beaten. Very interesting. Yes, and now it's very funny. I have run out of topics. This is a feature-length movie, pretty much, because this commentary is like 1 hour and 46. And I've talked a lot of stuff, but I'm also a little bit tired. But you know, let's continue the shindig. Donkey Kong is good, right? You guys like Donkey Kong. I'm not sure if I'll do a Donkey Kong commentary. I'm not sure which game I would pick, and because all of them are just long enough to where it couldn't be a single part. I mean, I technically have done a Donkey Kong commentary in my very casual NES Extravaganza commentary, where I put Donkey Kong Jr., and Donkey Kong 3, but that was that. It was barely anything, you know. I'm thinking the country games, you know. That won't be anytime soon. I don't. At least I'm not thinking about it right now. What else? I do know the series that I want to revisit this year is Virtua Fighter. I just don't know when, because again, right now I'm just thinking about trying to save up for Switch 2. So really, what I want to do besides playing the games in the playing and reviewing the games in the Sakurai Marathon. I know what the next one is. If you guys don't know, then I'll keep it a secret. If you guys do know, then look forward to that. I really am at a point. I'm at a loss for words. I guess I can ruminate and yeah, and share shorties. That's what we do. That's what we do over here. We fill shorisush, and we tell these Gong droids from Star Wars to move their asses. Come on, I got a robot to fight. I get some super missiles. I do like getting some super missiles around here, because it just helps with the final boss. Because really, after you Ridley his weak point is the chest. You break the chest, you break the glass around the chest, and then you just give him like 4 or 5 super missiles, and he's dead. Of course, not counting the 100% version, not counting the hard mode version. But damn, I do hear that doing this game 100% on hard mode is kind of a bitch, because it's like already when you're going for 100%, it already triples the damage, and now will really be even more. It's like holy shit. Just because in hard mode of Zero Mission, I've never tried it, but what happens is that your energy is pretty much reduced, so you get half of an energy tank when you get one. So instead of a total of 12 blocks of health, you only get 6, and it's like that is kind of evil. That is kind of evil. But hey, if you want to challenge, there you go. Zero Mission offers you that. Unless you still don't find the game challenging. I'm like, oh, okay. Sure. I mean, I guess Samus Returns might be one of the hardest games of the series from what I played. It's been a while since I played Samus Returns. It's been a few years, but I remember that one was even harder than Dread in my opinion, because Dread, only really the bosses are difficult. The other enemies are pretty manageable. While with Samus Returns, even the enemies early on, especially early on, do a lot of damage. And it's like, Jesus Christ, it's not the most friendly of Metroid games, but it's a fun one, you know. Yeah, I'm very low on health. It's kind of weird, and interestingly enough, the space pirates of this place do not give you health drops. You know, I can understand not as the zero suits, because you know the purpose is to make you tense and stuff like that, but not even as when you have your suit back. That's very interesting. There's none, but at least there is all save rooms heal you up, and then ooh. Cannibal! It feels good, it feels good. Reminds me of hot springs in Kid Icarus. Kind of reminds me of the time I went to an onsen in Japan. Random topic, but you know, we're milking this shit. It's very interesting because onsens in Japan, it was an inside onsen, so it wasn't like one of those outdoor onsens. We didn't have the money or the time to really do that. But it was nice, but also I don't see myself going to like onsens or saunas in general much, because my heart starts beating very fast and then I start getting a little bit uncomfortable and I'm like, okay, let's get out of here, you know. But it's still a good experience to have like every once in a while, you know. Personally, my personal favorite experience are the jacuzzis. The jacuzzis are just really nice to just relax. Like, now that for me is really relaxing. Maybe if I did an outdoor onsen, maybe I would feel different. I mean, because if when I'm just standing there and was just like sitting, not because the onsen I went to, there were parts of it where you could just sit, and there were parts of it where you could like just lay down. And the ones that lay down were probably the ones that I felt more while the ones where I was just sitting, I was like a bit more comfortable. But after a while, then I'm like, okay, let's leave. And I asked my friends who was with me, can we leave? And he was also thinking of the same thing, so we left, and then we just went to a museum, and that was nice. And there was a National Geographic exposition happening around that time, and it was nice. It was nice. That was a good day. And then at the end, we tried out a fast food chain that some Asian countries have, but only some Asian countries like Japan and I think South Korea or Singapore. I'm not sure. And that's Loteria. It's kind of like a fast food chain like McDonald's instead of burgers, and it was nice. It was nice. It was just one of those things I was curious on and I want to try. We had barely enough time before the train, because then if we missed this train, we wouldn't be able to get another one for like a few hours. So we really need to go back home, to go back to the university. But we managed, and then it was nice. Yeah, it was a nice day. Nice day. A nice day. It was just me and him, just chilling, just doing stuff. Yeah. I just reminisce a lot on Japan because I really did have a lot of fun going there. Oh, somebody needs to get an oil change. It's very loud. Oh, what is this creature? Ooh. It's the most threatening thing ever made. Robo Ridley. Because after Ridley bit the dust, I guess the space pirates really just needed a leader of some kinds. Wow, they love Ridley that much, huh? I mean, he is the cunning god of death. But then Ridley would be brought back as Meta Ridley for Metroid Prime, because Metroid Prime takes place after 1 and before 2. It's very interesting how... I mean, it makes sense because R&D 1 was working on Metroid Fusion, which was the sequel to Super Metroid. So where would they slot Metroid Prime, especially because it was coming out on the same day in North America as Fusion? They were like, how about in between 1 and 2? I was like, okay. And there you go. Wowee. Few super miscellaneous done. Hmm. Nothing's happening. I can't go. Oh. Uh-oh. Time to run! Oh, yeah. It's very interesting. Like, Robo Ridley, like, when the Space Pirates built him, why did they build it like, oh, when he's defeated, he's gonna self-destruct? Because, like, if Robo Ridley's in the Space Pirate home mothership, where the other Space Pirates are, that's gonna just kill a bunch of Space Pirates. Are the Space Pirates actually smart? I don't think so. They seem kind of dumb to me. But now it's the classic escape sequence. It's interesting how this game has 2 escape sequences. Not even Metroid Prime had that, because Metroid Prime had 1 escape sequence at the beginning with the frigate Orphean, but then there's no escape sequence at the end, so that's interesting. And then Metroid Prime 2, from what I've heard, there is an escape sequence at the end, so that's neat. Is there any other Metroid game that's... No, Super. I say that's like, how can I forget Super? No, Super has 2 escape sequences. The first one, which was 1 minute long, is the Sarah Station. And then the one towards the end of the game, the one that finalizes the game, that's like 3 minutes long. Yeah. This one is actually 5 minutes long. I think if you play on hard difficulties, on hard mode, you do get less time. I think you only get like half the time, 2 minutes and a half, I think. But, 5 minutes is plenty, because 5 minutes is plenty. It is plenty of time to get through, especially if you know some of the shortcuts and stuff like that. I think there's a big shortcut you can do, where you can do the Morph Ball Shine Spark through one of these corridors, and just zoom across so much. But I always forget what it is, so I never tried it. And I also, again, can't really pull off the Morph Ball Shine Spark in this game. So that's kind of weird too, you know. But I guess as we're, I'll leave my thoughts when we get to the credits. Right now, let's just get out of here. The Space Pirates are scum. I need these gong rates to get out of the way. Missiles do it faster. Super missiles do even faster. Although, no, I got 8 super missiles, so at least I got that. I could have used them, but nah, didn't feel like it at the moment. I was just feeling like I didn't feel like pressing the select button here. But ever since they made it so that missiles are in Fusion are activated with the R button and just press the fire button, that has just made it so much more convenient. But then, and then in Fusion, they combine the super missiles into the missiles. But here, the super missiles are separate, a la Super Metroid, which is very interesting. These ones, these last 2 Space Pirates that take a whole lot more damage, I was also being kind of reckless and stupid. I was doing so. I was pretty close to death's door. But don't worry, I do prevail eventually. And that one's dead, and then this one is dead. Alright, let's get out of here. And you get, yeah, what was that Space Pirate trying to accomplish? I have no idea. I'm thinking that all of them know that they're gonna die. Yeah, maybe, but it's still kind of stupid for making that the thing I talked about earlier. Just, all of them are gonna die. And then it's like, oh, but we can drag Samus with us. And it's like, no, Samus can escape very easily, you dumbasses. Yeah. Oh, well, one of the things I do like about Zero Mission is that one of the I find it interesting about Zero Mission is that you can actually go back to the locations to get 100%. That's what I meant with the, with the 100% earlier. That's what I said earlier. But you can also revisit the broken down Torian, which has some acid that damages a lot. It's more like toxin. And you can get some items there. There's even a below Mother Brain, just like Super Metroid, they put a power bomb there. In Super Metroid, they gave you a bomb, and this one they gave you a power bomb. And that's Metroid Zero Mission. This is one of my favorite Metroid games. Just kind of like wrapping it up. I hope this is one of my favorite Metroid games. There's while I don't mind that it's short, I don't mind that it's on the easy side. The only thing I don't really like is the 100%. But besides that, this is a great ass time. An easy recommendation to newcomers. This is all. You also probably saw that in my review, which should be coming out today, the same day as this commentary is going up. So, sorry for redundancy, but gotta have my bases covered. One for Backloggd, one for YouTube. But also, like, when it comes to a commentary like this, I can go off topic and stuff like that. It's not like this is not a review. This is a commentary, just me talking about stuff. But it's also like, eventually, I will give my final thoughts on what I think about the game in question, just like I did for all the other games, But if you haven't played Metroid, then this is a good place to start. I'd say this is the place to start. It's easily accessible now on the Nintendo Switch Online's expansion pack, which is now pretty value, it has a lot of value for what it's worth, especially with GameCube games on the Switch too. Yeah, this is a good ass time. This is a good ass time. It's just a game that, even with that failed recording, I didn't mind replaying it because I just had a lot of fun. And even, I was actually even considering replaying it again, but I said, nah, I want to play some other stuff for now. Metroid Zero Mission is just fun. I feel like I'm coming off as a little bit of a dead horse, but that's just how fun the game is, and I'm glad I did another commentary on another Metroid game. You know, I hope. So with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this commentary. I hope I hope my tangents were good enough for you to listen to. I hope you liked the gameplay, and I'll just leave you guys with the completion screen. Thank you all for watching, and see you all later. Peace.